YouTube, and for those who do not know me, hello. My name is Noah, and on my channel we talk about spiritual reparations, haunted people, places, and things, true crime, and how you can fuck around and find out. If you are not subscribed, I highly recommend that you do so. Turn your notification bells on, and if you are not following me on TikTok, go over there and follow me too. Before I start this video, I just have to remind all of my subscribers and followers that I will never follow you back, and I will never reach out to you for tarot card readings. I have a lot of scammers, and this problem originated on TikTok and it's following me to other platforms. I'm going to be posting screenshots of all of my platforms, so if it does not look like this, it's not me. And while we're at it, can y'all please go follow me on Facebook and Instagram? Those numbers are so low. I need us to follow me there as well for other tea. On today's episode, we will be discussing an unfortunate recent case of a influencer who I believe was struggling mentally and may have had a little bit of spiritual psychosis. And if you haven't a clue what I'm talking about, on April 8th, the morning of the eclipse, a X/Twitter influencer tragically unalived her boyfriend, her 8-month-old baby, seriously injured her 9-year-old, and then herself.
We've learned that the suspect in this week's horrific murder was an online astrology influencer. Here's a look at her, who posted about the solar eclipse being the apocalypse. Fox 11's Gina Silva, she's live with developing new information on this case tonight. Gina?
Marla, this case has been so shocking from beginning to end, and now we're learning about a new disturbing layer to this tragedy.
A lot of our foundations as a society are toxic. They're ungrounded and they're unrealistic.
LAPD confirms Danielle Johnson, a.k.a. Danielle Ayoka, seen here on the Scotty and Sylvia show, was an astrology influencer on social media who was concerned about the eclipse.
Eclipses, there's more births, there's more deaths.
Leading up to the eclipse on Monday, Danielle, who went by the handle Mystic X Lipstick, made several alarming posts like these. Wake up, the apocalypse is here.
Spiritual psychosis. Spiritual psychosis is basically whenever you don't understand the difference between something spiritually happening to you and a mental health emergency. A perfect example of spiritual psychosis would be like a homeless man who attends church and tells everyone that he is the Messiah and he's waiting for the coming of Jesus, or whatever the case is, whenever we know this is just a man who's probably suffering from mental health issues. The person making sense of something that is spiritual that doesn't make sense in real life, if that makes sense. Like thinking that the eclipse was the end of days and that it was some sort of spiritual warfare. And this is exactly what was happening to Danielle. There are several examples and research online about spiritual psychosis, and they'd be able to explain it better than I can. But on the morning of April 8th, I'm almost sure, I'm not a doctor, I'm not trying to diagnose this girl, but that she had some sort of psychotic break, and it had to do or surrounding her spirituality and what she truly believed. Danielle Johnson was a recording artist and an entrepreneur who specialized in Reiki healing, shamanism, astrology. She was a spiritualist through and through. I do suspect that she was a conspiracy theorist as well, just looking at some of her posts. But for the most part, she was very much so like me, a spiritualist who did monthly cleanses, sold monthly cleanses, and had a website full of spiritual products. Studying her X account, it looks like everything was semi-normal. I mean, as normal as you can get for someone in the line of work that Danielle was in, up until about March 29th, actually March 28th. She posted on Twitter, if you haven't noticed yet, this shit is real. If you're a spiritual practitioner, keep your people safe. The world needs us more than ever right now, and this is not an exaggeration. I don't create PSAs, but once again, all this shit is real. What was real, we'll never know, which I have an idea of what she was kind of hinting at, but then she started posting things that could be seen as conspiracy theories, and it seems like she was on Twitter nonstop. And this continued on for days. And it seemed like on April 5th, she was just spam tweeting a lot of information. She also posted that the eclipse is the epitome of spiritual warfare. Get your protection on, your heart in the right place. The world is very obviously changing right now. And if you ever needed to pick a side, the time to do it in your life is now. Stay strong. She posted April 5th, we can do it, we can do it, can do it, believe. Your magic is in what you believe. I believe we can be free. I believe we can be free. It just looks like she was spam tweeting, and she had a very devout following. I mean, this woman had almost 104,000 followers on Twitter. On the same day, she tweeted, if any spiritual account is not revealing the truth right now, they are fake. They are lies. They have sold out and are on the wrong side. Wake up, wake up. There is power in your choice. There is power in your consent. We can do it. She also was posting a lot of anti-Semitic content on there, reposting. It was just a mess. And if y'all ever see me doing this type of stuff online, snatch me up, because I am not okay. Anyone who was not a part of her following, meaning holding on to every word that she said in these tweets, would have seen that she was not okay. She was not okay. I'm reading the tweets myself. She also posted, these are all the ways they have been programming us with lies. Look at these to understand the agenda. This is real. This is spiritual warfare. And while I agree that spiritual warfare is an actual thing, spiritual warfare exists, but the way that she was proposing this said spiritual warfare was problematic as hell. I mean, telling people to get ready for the end of days, posting anti-Semitic content, it was just totally unhinged. Is some of the things that's on her Twitter I've heard of? Absolutely. Is some of the things on her Twitter totally outlandish in my opinion? Absolutely. But nobody said anything. You know, we have to be very, very conscious of whenever we see someone who is spiritual and someone who needs help. Her last post on X was a repost, and it reads, alert, this is the final warning. Turn notifications on. Do not look at the eclipse. Something big is coming. And this was April 7th. On the morning of April 8th, the eclipse, at 4:30 a.m., a driver spotted two children on the 405 freeway in California. Police were called, and it was found that these were Danielle's children, a 9-year-old girl and an 8-month-old baby. The baby was pronounced deceased on the scene, but the 9-year-old girl told police that they were driving on the freeway with their mom. Their mom slowed down and pushed her and the baby out of the car. The baby was sitting in the 9-year-old's lap. Whenever she pushed the two children out of the car, the baby fell out of the little girl's lap, and the little girl was racing to get out of traffic and not get hit. Unfortunately, the baby was struck and the baby was killed instantly. Luckily, other drivers around gave a description of Danielle's car, and she was found about 10 miles away from where she had just pushed her children out of a moving vehicle, and she had crashed intentionally into a tree and was pronounced dead on the scene as well. Back at Danielle's Woodland Hills apartment, her neighbor, which is about 2 hours after she had ran into this tree, was going to work as they usually do and seen a lot of blood coming from Danielle's apartment. And she remembered, or he remembered, the night before that she heard Danielle and her partner, whose name was Jalen, arguing. The neighbor called the police, and the police entered the residence to find Jalen Chaney stabbed to death on the kitchen floor. All of this was so senseless. And if Danielle had gotten the help that she needed prior to all of this, we wouldn't even be making this video. This brings me to another topic that I want to discuss, and it kind of falls underneath spiritual psychosis. You have to be very careful who you let lead you. Some of these self-proclaimed spiritual advisors are dealing with undiagnosed mental health crises, and they have this big following that's following them and holding on to their every word. And this is just a prime example of you have to be careful who you make your prophet. You have to be very, very careful. Also, spirituality is not a personality trait. Never make it one. Because if you are enamored within the spiritual community, your mind could wander into dark places that it does not need to be. Spirituality is supposed to give you solace, peace. You're supposed to feel love. And I'm not just talking about the spirituality that myself or Danielle was practicing. I'm talking about whatever spiritual path that you are taking, whether it's Christian, Catholicism, Hinduism, whatever the case is, it's supposed to bring you peace. It's not supposed to make you paranoid, scared. It isn't supposed to make your mind wander into places that it never was supposed to be in the first place. After Danielle's death, a lot of people went to social media to basically be like, I told you so, this girl was crazy, this, that, and the third. We are not doing that on my platform. If anything, this woman needed help. And all of that spam tweeting the days prior and leading up to this catastrophe was a telltale sign that she was experiencing something that the average sane person wouldn't have identified. I know we discuss a lot of things on Patreon, on here about shadow work and healing and all that good stuff. But the best shadow work that you could do is going to go see a counselor, seeking out help. Everything isn't spiritual. There are some worldly explanations for things that happen to people. My thoughts and prayers are with Danielle's family, her followers, all of that, because whenever you amass 100,000 plus followers on a platform, no matter what you may have done, there are people that still looked up to you, and she had a family. There are people that still love her. So keep it cute in my comments. Sending the biggest heartfelt love, light, and healing to her 9-year-old daughter that survived this disaster. That is all, YouTube. And if you would like me to cover a topic, a true crime case, a paranormal case, what have you, I will be putting my new email in the description of this video. Remember, if you need help, if you feel like this spirituality shit, no matter what line of spiritual path you're in, is getting to be too much, please seek help. Y'all do good, be good, and stay safe.